Hey guys, it's Travis. Today I am going to be doing a video showing you all my horror collection. Horror is my favorite genre, and I recently started watching Leon over at Paperback Mania, and he reviews all the awesome 80s, 90s paperbacks that a lot of people don't get because they think they're cheesy, but I love them. And I'm really glad I found him. I spent all day watching his videos, so he kind of inspired me to do this video. And I'm not doing just my 80s, 90s horror. I'm going to be doing all my horror across the board. So this might be a long video, so without further ado, here we go. Carnivore by Lee Clark. Amityville, The Evil Escapes by John G. Jones. And it's got a cool inside. The Haunted by Bentley Little. Classic horror, Goosebumps by R.L. Stine. This is Welcome to the Dead House, #1. I only have #1 right now because it's a big series to collect, and I found it for 25 cents. So, Red Rain by R.L. Stine. Heart-Shaped Box by Joe Hill. The Fireman by Joe Hill. Horns by Joe Hill, and this one and Heart-Shaped Box are the only two I've read so far, Joe Hill, but I love Joe Hill. Horns is great. The movie was pretty good. And Heart-Shaped Box was really good too. Nosferatu by Joe Hill. Carrie by Stephen King. It by Stephen King. The Shining by Stephen King. Nightmares and Dreamscapes by Stephen King. The Birthing House by Christopher Ranson. Monster, A Tale of Loch Ness by Jeffrey Konvitz. Also has inside art. Little Brother by Rick Hatala. The Hunting Season by John Coyne. The Girl Next Door by Jack Ketchum. Area 51 by Robert Doherty. Trapped by Jack Kilborn. This series is one of my favorite horror series. One of the first horror series I read. And if you haven't read this series, I think this is the second one. I kind of grabbed my books off of my bookshelf, so I don't have them in order right now, but yeah. So if you like horror and you like gory, this is great. Beast by Peter Benchley. Hobgoblin by John Coyne. The Haunting by Ruby Jean Jensen. The Montauk Monster by Hunter Shea. Earth Sound by Arthur Herzog. Afraid by Jack Kilborn. This is the first book that I was trying to find. Creature by Peter Benchley. Jaws the Revenge by Hank Searles. Jaws 2 by Hank Searles. Jaws by Peter Benchley. Richard Masson. Hunger by William R. Dance. It's Loose by Warner Lee. Peter Benchley's Amazon. And it's got The Exorcist by William Peter Blatty. The Supernatural by John G. Jones. Heat by Arthur Herzog. Nowhere to Hide by Joan Hall Hovey. Black Ice by Pat Graverson. Rough Beast by Gary Gosh. The Swarm by Arthur Herzog. The Sendai by William Woolfolk. Fragment by Warren Ferry. The second book to Fragment, which is Pandemonium by Warren Frey. Natural Selection by Dave Freeman. Asylum by Madeline Rowe. The Omen by David Seltzer. And this is the movie tie-in, so it's got little pictures in the Blair Witch Project. I guess compiled by D.A. Stern. It's all the fake news articles and stuff that they did. So, Dweller by Jeff Strand, and this one is really, really good. I like this one. Frankenstorm by Ray Garton. I think this is horror. I mean, it looks horror and sounds horror. I got it at the Dollar Tree, so I was like, $1. Why not? Below by Ryan Lockwood. What Lurks Beneath by Ryan Lockwood. Then we have Meg by Steve Alton. As you can tell, this is my favorite book and favorite horror author. And this is just the first book, but in different copies, so lovely. You got the advanced reader copy the special anniversary edition, which he signed, the original paperback, and then another edition of the paperback. Then the second book in the Meg series, Primal Water. Third book, The Trench by Steve Alten. Fourth book, Hell's Aquarium by Steve Alten. And the latest book, Meg Night Stalkers, Steve Alten. You got Vostok by Steve Alten. Undisclosed by Steve Alten. The Lock by Steve Alten. Domain by Steve Alten. Resurrection by Steve Alten. Phobos by Steve Alten. The Omega Project by Steve Alten. And The Grim Reaper End of Days by Steve Alten. Then we have The Image by Charlotte Paul. The Ruins by Scott Smith. Devour by Kurt Anderson. The Boy Who Drew Monsters by Keith Donahue. The Blumhouse Book of Nightmares by various horror authors and horror directors like Eli Roth. It's very disappointing. The stories were not that scary. There was only a few that were actually good. The Woman in the Walls by Amy Lockovitz. The Scarlet Gospels by Clive Barker. Battle Royale. I'm not going to try to pronounce the author's name. You can see it right there. I will butcher it. The Troop by Nick Cutter, which me personally did not like this book hardly at all. It was not what I wanted. So I give authors at least 3 chances, and after the third book I don't like, then I just stop. With that being said, The Deep by Nick Cutter. This is the second one I'm going to try by him, and hopefully it is better. The Wrath by David Robbins. Majestic by Whitley Strieber. Intruders by Bud Hopkins. Into the Mist by Lee Murray. Survive the Night by Daniel Vega. This wasn't that great. Coldbrook by Tim Leban. Invasive Species by Joseph Wallace. This is a really good book about killer wasp, and I really enjoyed this book. Boom. Super old, like hard cassette tape looking edition of Tyrannosaur by David Drake. Offspring by Jack Ketchum. Also one of my favorite horror writers. He's very gory and does not skip out on anything. Joyride by Jack Ketchum. Breeding Grounds by Sean Hudson. Saurian by William Scholl. Best Friends by Ruby Jean Jensen. And Deeper by James A. Moore. This one, super surprising. Really enjoyed it. If you like weird alien sea creatures or any horror that takes place at sea, great book. Alright, and that's going to end this video. If y'all would like to see me do this with another genre, like fantasy or thrillers, I don't really have that much contemporary, or if y'all just want to see a bookshelf tour, let me know. And as always, thank you for watching. Have a good one. Bye.